Welcome back to the Fit Past 60 channel, your information source for science-based longevity strategies. Today's discussion is going to be about how to stop losing muscle after 60 and 3 science-backed ways to help. Did you know that after the age of 60, many adults lose around 1 to 3% of their muscle strength each year, and muscle mass also declines progressively if it's not challenged? This age-related muscle loss is known as sarcopenia, and it's one of the biggest contributors to reduced mobility, falls, loss of independence, and poorer metabolic health as we age. But here's the encouraging news. Sarcopenia isn't simply caused by getting older. In many cases, it's driven by 3 modifiable factors: insufficient muscle loading, inadequate protein intake, and too much physical inactivity. After nearly 30 years as an exercise physiologist and sports scientist, I've worked with many clients in their 60s and into their 90s who have dramatically improved their strength, balance, and physical function. Today, I'll explain 3 evidence-based strategies that target the underlying physiology of muscle loss, not just the symptoms. So let's get started. Fix number 1, create mechanical tension. The biggest misconception I hear is, I walk every day, so my muscles should be fine. Well, walking is excellent for cardiovascular health, joint mobility, and overall well-being. But preserving muscle requires something different. It requires mechanical tension. Mechanical tension is the primary stimulus that activates muscle protein synthesis, the biological process responsible for repairing and rebuilding muscle tissue. When muscles experience sufficient load, specialized signaling pathways, particularly the mTOR pathway, are activated. This tells the body that we need to adapt by becoming stronger. Now, without that signal, the body becomes remarkably efficient at removing muscle it no longer considers necessary. That is why resistance training is so important, and also what the soon-to-be-released Fit Past 60 comprehensive home-based longevity programs will endorse. Whether you use resistance bands, as in my coming programs, or dumbbells, machines, or your own body weight, the goal is essentially the same. Challenge every major muscle group 2 to 3 days per week using multi-joint exercises such as squats or sit to stands, rows, presses, step-ups, and even overhead presses. Rather than chasing heavy weights, we should be focusing on training close to muscular fatigue whilst maintaining excellent technique. If you finish a set and you feel like you could easily perform another 8 or 10 repetitions, the stimulus is probably too low. Your muscles need a reason to adapt, which brings us to fix number 2, overcome anabolic resistance. The second issue is nutrition. As we age, our muscles don't respond to protein as efficiently as they once did. This phenomena is known as anabolic resistance. In younger adults, a relatively small amount of protein stimulates muscle protein synthesis. In older adults, a larger dose, particularly one rich in the amino acid leucine, is often required to achieve the same response. That's why simply eating some protein isn't always enough. Current evidence suggests that aiming for approximately 25 to 35 grams of high-quality protein at each meal, with many active older adults benefiting from daily intakes around 1.2 to 1.6 grams of protein per kilo of body weight, assuming there are no medical conditions requiring dietary restriction. So good protein sources include Greek yogurt, eggs, fish, lean meats, cottage cheese, milk, soy products, and whey or plant protein-based supplements if required. Another important strategy is protein distribution. Many people eat very little protein at breakfast and most of it at dinner time. Muscle protein synthesis is stimulated more effectively when adequate protein is consumed consistently across the day. And here's the important point. Resistance training creates the stimulus, protein provides the raw materials, but neither works nearly as well without the other. So fix number 3, reduce inactivity between workouts. Many people think that muscle loss occurs because they don't exercise enough, or simply because they sit too much. Well, research shows prolonged sedentary behavior reduces muscle protein synthesis, decreases insulin sensitivity, and accelerates age-related declines in muscle function. If you complete 3 excellent workouts each week, spending the remaining hours sitting can negatively affect your muscles. Think of movement as providing your muscles with regular reminders that they're being stimulated and that they're essential. Aim to interrupt sitting every 30 to 60 minutes. So whilst talking on the phone, take the stairs, carrying groceries, working out in the garden, stand while reading. These low-level activities may not build significant muscle on their own, but they help to preserve metabolic function, improve circulation, maintain joint mobility, and reduce the cumulative effects of inactivity. Movement isn't only exercise, movement is medicine. And here's what decades of research suggest, and nearly 3 decades of clinical practice have taught me. Aging doesn't cause weakness, disuse does. The remarkable thing about skeletal muscle is that it remains highly adaptable throughout our lifetime. Even into your 70s, 80s, and beyond, muscle retains an extraordinary capacity to respond when it is challenged appropriately. If you consistently apply progressive resistance training, eat sufficient high-quality protein, and minimize prolonged inactivity, you're addressing the 3 major drivers of age-related muscle loss. The result here isn't just stronger muscles, it's better balance, improved bone health, greater insulin sensitivity, reduced falls risk, enhanced confidence, and the ability to continue living independently. And that is what Fit Past 60 is all about, helping you use evidence-based exercise to improve not just how long you live, but how well you live. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel below, and tell me in the comments, which of these 3 strategies do you think you'll make an impact on this week? Thanks very much, and thanks for watching, and remember, age strong by science. See you next time.